Surprise, motherfucker! I was surprised. So I'm like, oh, I accidentally pushed the record button. And I'm like, wait, why are the things changing? And then I saw the little counter. I'm like, oh shit, the video's on. I was surprised. I'm the motherfucker that was surprised. All right, before we get any further, just want to let people know that Chult for the holidays, there's a Chult sale for the trilogy. Happens to be book 2, Chult Fuchsia Malaise. And if you want that one or all 3, then in the link in the description below, there will be a URL to my blog post where I detail the ordering instructions and prices, because I'm running a big sale between now and, I don't know, Christmas. So hopefully you take advantage of that if you don't already have it. Otherwise, it makes a great gift. If you have a gamer in your life that you want to get something for them, or if you just want a second or even third copy or copies of the trilogy, definitely, yeah, buy a whole bunch. If you're a retailer, you can get 4 sets of the trilogy for $400, I think. That's an incredible deal. Anyway, without further ado, bear with me. I'm just going to do this all in one take, just like I normally do. So, I was watching a Ben Shapiro video just a little while ago, and the subject that he was on was non-Judgementalism, and conversely, judgmentalism. And that reminded me of a conversation I had on the Forge forum way back in, I don't even know, 2004, 2005, possibly 2006. And I came up with the idea, and I posted it on the forum, of, well, since there's all these different strategies and styles of play, maybe as a group, a community, or maybe 1 or 2 people would want to like join up with me and tackle this idea. And that was, take a specific style or strategy or way of playing and focus just on that small niche and just go in as in, well, this is why this is awesome, and this is why this is the best way to play, or this is the best version, or this is... And you do that with multiple, possibly every version of style or strategy, in hopes of illuminating with each of these different products what is great about them and what makes them superior or objectively better than the other ones. So in some cases, if you didn't think they were better, you'd be playing like devil's advocate. And I got a lot of pushback. In fact, that post and that whole thread back then was probably the beginning of the end for me and the Forge. After that, things just never seemed the same. I was called several names, and I just felt really attacked. Someone said that my approach and even me were anathema to role-playing games or what the Forge was about or all this stuff. And I was just like, I don't know why. And I think I understand that conversation, that dialogue better now in 2022 after watching that video. And if you want, I'll put a link to Ben Shapiro's show today in the description below as well, underneath my my blog post, so you can see it for yourself, because it was pretty good and pretty illuminating. And so what it's all about is, to the left, judgment is really, really bad. They don't want you taking a stand in favor of something and then not favoring or disrespecting or minimizing or saying the other side is bad or not as equal or problematic or whatever. They have no problem calling us problematic, traditionalists, conservatives, normal people. But so what is behind that? Why don't they want you to be, or anybody to be, judgmental? Because they want everything to be equivalent and equal and egalitarian, except for the few things that they don't like Christianity and traditional values and conservatism and stuff like that. They want everything else to be morally or ethically equivalent. And I think I'm going to go on a limb and say that's just wrong. Not everything is equivalent, morally, ethically, however, whatever qualification you want to give that. And why do they want to do that? Because I guess they want a sort of maximal freedom of the individual that doesn't pay attention to aspects of reality like consequences and like negative feedback and what's that going to do to you psychologically and how's that going to affect you and society down the road, cultural implications, just the degeneration of society. They don't want to think about that. They don't want to touch that. I think they want to kind of put blinders on and just not see that kind of wholesale liberation basically equals destruction. If you don't have any rules or laws or a personal code that prevents you from doing certain things, so if you basically have all options available to you on the table, I guess the left think that that's the best outcome. This sort of like, do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, kind of maximal freedom. But what a lot of people, conservatives and traditionalists, and also people that are aware of esotericism and various aspects of philosophy, spiritualism, religion, the occult, what we know is that you gain even more freedom by limiting yourself and adhering to certain rules, to living under certain laws. That's how you gain more freedom. Because if you're just doing whatever, whenever, then you're limited to... You're still limited. It's like the genie in the lamp. The genie can do anything, but he's a prisoner of himself, basically. The lamp is like the rules that of like how am I going to explain it? Of like the outer law. But if you don't have the lamp, then you're free as a normal person to just, live your life and do whatever. And as a genie, you can manifest whatever you want, but you're even more restricted. And, there are plenty of examples in real life. I didn't come up with any before making this video, but perhaps I can think of one now. Let's say you're a student in high school and you cut school so you can do whatever you want. You could go to the circus, you could go to the movies, you could go downtown and do a bunch of drugs and find some prostitutes or whatever. So that's the maximal freedom, right? Or you can go to school, place yourself voluntarily under those restrictions, under those rules, those laws, and hopefully get a good education. And then when you grow up, or maybe even just a year or two from then, you have so many more possibilities open to you. Whereas if you start cutting school and it becomes a habit and you do it all the time, eventually you stop going to school and you drop out of high school, what is left open to you then in the world? Your options and your freedom are limited more by taking the maximal non-judgmental approach than if you tried to follow a normal or traditional value system and place yourself under those laws, restrictions, rules. So does that make sense? That's just a divide between the right and the left that I think, I don't know, a lot of people may not be aware of, but I just wanted to bring people's attention to. And it struck me in a role-playing game perspective that then I realize now was the subtext in that Forge forum conversation that I had way back almost 20 years ago, that I didn't realize until now, that the judgmentalism is one of those things that the left just abhors and fears. Because I think when you actually explore it, you'll realize that not everything is morally equivalent. I could go further, but I think for now that's enough. Enough people are going to come after me just for that alone, without going further and deeper down the rabbit hole. But I'll probably go there eventually. Maybe in the next video, maybe next month's video. Anyway, that's enough for now. Just very interesting, I thought, and I wanted to share it with you. And remind you again that Chult for the holidays, the Chult books are on sale. You got a great deal on the whole trilogy. Chult, Fuchsia Malaise, the third book, Chult, Chartreuse Shadows. That one's 360 pages. So if you see on there, down there in the link, why that's a little bit more, that's why. This is, what was this, 218 pages, 220 pages, something like that. That's the second book. First book is equivalent. 360 pages for the third book. It's got a whole new mega dungeon. It's got so many other adventures and options and rules, and me giving you advice on how to game master, not only how to game master in general and specifically Chult, but how I do it and how I would teach someone if I was just sitting alone with them in a room explaining Chult and how they could best run a Chult campaign or one shot themselves, just imparting that knowledge or that wisdom. That's what I do in the books, especially the third book. So it's definitely, there's an appendix with Crimson Dragonslayer D20, the final version, and Crimson Escalation, and just OSR like a fucking boss. There's so many things. So there's like years and years, probably decades worth of material in that trilogy. So yeah, I highly recommend it. So yeah, tell your friends, tell other people, share this video, please. Comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's grow this channel. I'm at 1.04. I've been sitting there for, I don't know, a month or so. So let's get up there. Let's get 1.11. There you go. See ya.